Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Weekend Warrior Show, presented to you by MMA TORCH. I'm Rhys Lawrence, and as you can see, you cannot see Sean Covington, but I will assure you that he is with me today. Sean's been a bit under the weather. Let's keep it like that because I don't, I don't think you guys will want to know what he's been going through. But yeah, so we will be doing a little bit of recapping. Some of the action. UFC Austin obviously happened this weekend as well. Better Biev, Joe Smith Jr. was on. A lot of just little bits and bobs going on, really. Crossing WWE.
Bits and bobs.
Yeah. Vince McMahon, Sean. We're going to get into that. So there's a lot. There's a lot to talk about. It's good sometimes when there's weeks where there's action, but there's also a lot of talking points outside of just the fights. I'm going to get right into it, but we'll start with just recapping what we've seen on Saturday in Austin. Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett, 5-round decision. And Sean, it was a bit of a strange one. Floor's yours.
Okay. So Calvin Kattar is one of those guys. Kattar, sorry. He's one of those guys that you go ahead and say, oh, this guy's a stud. He could do this. He could do that. And you're waiting for him to light it up. And he lights it up. And it's a good fight. And it seems all good. Like, it's a good main event. Everything's cool. And then he loses the fight. And then you go ask yourself, why the hell, how did he lose that fight? For one, he was robbed. He was. That wasn't a crazy robbery, but he was robbed. With that robbery comes the truth. He was robbed because he just stopped putting forth the winning effort. I talk about this a lot. There's just people who, there's this mentality in the UFC where it's, oh, I made it to the big time, so I need to just rest up for the big fights. I can afford not to put forth my best effort in finishing this fight. I can go ahead and just kind of coast to a victory. And then Calvin Kattar gave him this congratulatory victory speech and started hugging him and stuff like he had won outright. And just, I don't know what he said to him, and I don't give a shit what he said to him, but we've seen it, we've seen it in fights beforehand, on the same card where, somebody gets knocked out and you say, hey man, you're the best. You really brought it to me, even though you just knocked this dude out in like 3 seconds. And the Kattar thought he's disgusting, just like the rest of these fighters. I don't really believe in him anyway. Is he a good fighter? Sure. But get him out of here. I don't want to hear his name ever again. I tell you why. He's a gatekeeper. A good gatekeeper. A gatekeeper for the top 5, but keep him the hell out of any title picture or any mention of it unless somebody like a Cerrone or old man Lozon drop out of something. Like if it's that sort of cancellation at the last minute, then you can say Calvin Kattar, we'll throw him if he keeps winning. But Josh Emmett didn't look good. He didn't look bad, but he didn't look good. He looked average. He looked like he had some cage rust. He was swinging and missing a lot, man. Like, he was throwing bombs, but he wasn't connecting with a lot of them. And the ones he did connect with, he was hitting all glove. Like, he marked up Kattar a little bit, and that was it was fine. Like, I mean, he ended up winning a fight. He thought he won 4-1. I would suggest texting him from PCP or crack cocaine because there's no way he won. I can't see where he thought he won. Where he didn't think Kattar may have won a second round. He should have been like, no, man, 3-2, easy. He saying 3-2 easy is way better than saying 4-1 because I don't know where the hell he think he got that for. And then one of the judges, Chris Lee, scored the round, and this is how Kattar lost. He scored the round 4, which was a definitive win for Kattar. He scored that round for Josh Emmett. So then they kind of started talking about open scoring again. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's how that fight went.
it just that open scoring comes up every single fight. Like, if I'm not that I'm against it. It's just why does it always come up after every close fight rather than they're just saying it? I don't know who it's whether it's online or journalists or people involved in the UFC or maybe noting it, but it just comes up every second weekend pretty much now when there's a big fight that's close, and rather than just saying it, maybe there needs to be actually something that's done for it. But
I say they try it. I mean, I see the harm in it, but I think that it'd be used more like, hey man, you just lost that round. Like, it's even. So you need to go out and do more. I think they'll do more, but it's easy that they can do less. If you won 2 rounds, what are you gonna do then? I mean, but that does mean that the other person knows they lost that round as well, and they're gonna try and knock you out. So you can be in a lot of trouble. You could be on the defense pretty heavy. So I mean, but that's good for you. Like, you won 2 rounds, now defend those 2 rounds. Right? I mean, that's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how I see it would go. But
just really seeing, reading some stuff here. Josh Emmett saying he felt he won 4 rounds to 1, minimum 3-2. Obviously, every fighter's going to say that. I mean, they're just, they're in the moment. They're going to say that. They're not going to come out and go, "Yeah, I lost the fight," unless it's just some crazy, just.
No, I've seen fighters kind of say, "Man, that wasn't." I've seen fighters not say they lost a fight, but like not really agree with the decision without saying it.
Yeah. But I mean, Kattar saying the same thing. Obviously, it's about open judges. Scorecards, but I don't see it changing. I just see this continuing, and fighters saying the same thing. Don't keep it in the judges' scorecards, but sometimes you can't avoid that. Sure, that was that fight, and the main event. Whether that has title implications afterwards, I kind of maybe agree with you, Calvin Kattar. Maybe Josh Emmett as well. I mean, Josh Emmett, he's not had that title shot, so maybe it's a bit different for him. But Calvin Kattar, it does feel like he is going to be just around the top 5 guys, and I can't see a title shot in the future really, because what we're seeing from him is competitive fights, but there's a lot like maybe a Dan Ige, there's a lot of damage that gets taken, and I know that this fight wasn't like that to a crazy extent.
He took enough. I mean, that's the crazy part. He should have just outright won. Like, he did take enough damage. You bring up a great point. Like, he took enough damage that we're like, what the hell was the point of you fighting if you was going to lose? Taking, I wouldn't say it was significant, but it was enough. It was enough to where the judges was like, hey, you lost this fight. So, and Josh Emmett, I don't know what's wrong with him, but he doesn't deserve a title fight right now. He really doesn't. He didn't win that fight in convincing fashion. He didn't win it at all, according to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
only that one goofy judge thought he won a round, and then all of a sudden this clown won a split decision. There was nothing in that fight that didn't say that he would get destroyed by the featherweight champ, which I hate. But no, don't send him in there, man. That's just ridiculous. In fact, you want to do something, have some sort of tournament after Volkanovski drops the belt. I think he beats Max Holloway and moves on. That's not what I want to happen, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. So,
like we were talking about beforehand, Sean, this card was quite entertaining. There's a lot of stoppages, and being back in Austin, you're going to get a good crowd there. Kevin Holland gets a submission victory, co-main event, and I don't know if we've talked about him on the show yet, Sean. I mean, for me, Kevin Holland, he's different. Had flaws after he went on something like, I think, a 4 or 5-0 run. I think he went 4-0 in 1 year. Maybe 5-0. Submitted Jacare. That was just crazy. But we did start to see, once because of the wins he was racking up, a difference in competition. and then a very noticeable slight in the wrestling department, which is a lot, very common for these guys, these sort of rising stars. But the personality aside, the actual fighter, if you're to look at what you're seeing right now, it's pretty good. Is it championship worthy?
No.
It's
He
difficult.
did beat Tim Means, but
So
not yet.
it's not like it's a really young rising star that's beating these old. He's 29 himself. He's coming into his prime. He did lose 3 in a row. Yes, okay, it was against Vettori and Derek Brunson, but like you said, Tim Means, good fighter, but this is where I'm trying to get to. I probably agree with you. Is he a championship level fighter in the next 3-4 years? Probably not. But is he entertaining? You've got to say yes.
Yeah, he's a good gatekeeper. He's going to be your Diego Sanchez, your Clay Guida, the guy that's going to go out there and get his face torn up. Well, maybe not his face torn up, but he's going to go out there and fight his hardest.
Have wars,
put on
yeah.
an entertaining fight.
Yeah.
He's going to have a bunch of fight of the night, bonuses and stuff like that, which I don't know who the hell got the bonus this time. I think they should have just gave everybody who knocked somebody out a fight bonus. Or everybody who finished the fight in this card should have got a bonus.
You had Phil Hawes, we might talk about him in a second, with DC and his back and forth after this fight. He got a knockout. You got Cody Stamann, who knocked out Eddie Wineland. I think Eddie Wineland's retired now. Good career for him. I mean, just everywhere. Ricardo Ramos, Jemima Wells, Adrian Yanez, who we're coming on to in a second. It's just Joaquin Buckley. I mean, he always gets them. So, like you said, Sean, there was so many.
Yeah, man, it was a lot. And Daniel Cormier was like, damn, he get knocked out or tapped out on the card. It was a lot of knockouts, man. And it was great. It was really, probably the shortest damn card in UFC history, dude. It was short. People were getting blasted early. Real early. Let me see if I can go on the prelims and find one that was Court McGee. I didn't think he was gonna get thrown out of the fight like that. Court McGee, the way he lost, man. I'm gonna say this: the women did not bring it on this card. They went to decision.
Nothing new, though. Nothing.
I mean, that's unfortunate for them. I'm like this. People, and they constantly do this online. I know it's just the fans, but there's this one record in WWE. The lowest pay-per-view they ever had was the women's pay-per-view. And there's this thing that, women can't draw. And I don't think that that's the case at all. Because you look at Ronda Rousey, and sure she was. She was a huge draw for the UFC. I think that, you got to get them over, man. I think you got to get stronger competition, and you got to get them over. I don't think that's on the women. I think it was on these women. I'm saying that. They suck. Get a finish, man. Everybody's getting knocked out to your left and to the right of you, and you're going to decision. You're a bum. All of them were bums. Don't see. This is how people say they're not draws and stuff like that, because that's not a draw. A decision, no. But I think that falls more on the promoter than anything. Not this time, but hey, get some better women in there, get some better competition, get some better incentives, something, because something has to change. Yeah. Get you a Kayla Harrison or something like that. But yeah, man, you want to get to Yanez and him being called out by Sean O'Malley.
Well, yeah, because I know where you're going to go with it on Sean. I'll just say this: I don't think I've been as excited because I haven't seen much of this card. I've been watching clips, but Adrian Yanez, you just got to watch, because this, talking about Kevin Holland there, Sean, about a young guy. He's not obviously that young, but championship material coming off this big card. Adrian Yanez, although 28, he is just, he's on fire. And Probably. I mean, you could list your top 5, MMA strikers. Best boxing in the UFC. He's on it. He's on it, and he's probably in at least third. Maybe. And
I don't know, man. I got
Sean,
Conor
if you
McGregor
watched,
still. Bro,
well,
listen. Let me tell you something. Conor McGregor was in the ring with Floyd Mayweather for a reason. Anybody else would get dealt with. I think it's disgusting. I'm not going where you go. Listen to what I'm saying. I think it's disgusting and an insult that Francis Ngannou is even considering boxing. I think it's disgusting. I think it's an insult. I think it's ridiculous. I think he's going to die in that ring. And I'm going to be like, okay, well, he's dead. Get another champion. I mean, think about it like this. It's a skill. It's one skill. It's not multiple skills being deployed at once and someone being able to sneak out the back door with another skill set. No, this is one man boxing you to death and what is it? Not implementing, but employing his will upon you. Okay, that's what this is. So no, Adrian Yanez, no, I don't have him nowhere near my top 5 in boxing. Conor McGregor would kill him.
Well, quickly, let's go quickly then. Who's your top 5?
I don't know. I know Conor McGregor. Getting past.
Well,
okay, Diaz. Hold on, Diaz. The Diaz boys. I can't count them. Right. Nate Diaz is the guy that beat Conor McGregor.
Oh, Nate. Well, yeah, he didn't beat him by striking. He didn't beat him by striking, though, did he?
We're talking about boxing. If you want to say MMA striking, that's a little bit different. Because
no. Nate Diaz will be in there. I thought you said Diaz brothers. I mean, Nick Diaz, I can't put in there.
If still, listen, still, which is MMA striking, you're not. I'm telling you like this: the gatekeeper, and we playing it. I'm playing it fast and loose because of who it is.
Yeah.
And his but Conor McGregor's a gatekeeper. If you're not better than him, you can't really talk to me about it. I'll put it like this: Nurmagomedov was good enough to stand in there with him, but I don't know if he definitely wasn't better than him. He may have been his equal. He may have been his equal at times, but he's not better than him in terms of striking. And Adrian Yanez is good. Maybe we can have him in the top 10, but nah, he ain't getting past Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is pretty much my go-to to defeat anybody in MMA striking.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. But okay, so you got McGregor. You got McGregor 1, but Yanez can be in there. I think for me, McGregor. Of course, McGregor's up. He's in there. I mean, he's probably still number 1. Because, like you said, of Floyd and through everyone he's knocked out. I mean, for me, just circling back on Yanez, but I know what you're saying, especially because Yanez is doing it at a far less level of competition. McGregor's done it against the best guys. I wouldn't put him above McGregor. I'm just saying that maybe I'd probably have Yanez now, just from what I've seen, pure boxing. With the defense as well, Sean. It's not just the striking. You watch his defense. It's the high guard.
He's great. I'm not trying to shit on him.
No, I know you're not. I know you're not.
He's an IC champion. IC champions can easily become. Okay, if I say he was Mr. Perfect or Razor Ramon, you say, yeah, those guys could get a title shot, right? Yeah. So it's not like it's a disrespectful thing to be the IC champ, but he's an IC champ right now, and that's cool. But you got Gaethje, Conor McGregor, Charles Oliveira,
Max Holloway,
Volkanovski, Michael Chandler. I think I said him already, but you got those guys, just those guys. Hell, the guy's retired, but Henry Cejudo. So yeah, I mean, you got Jan. It's not that he's not good, but he's a level below champion or top tier champion, just one level below. But that level's nothing to play with because it probably starts with him, and then that's when he has to face the Sean O'Malley's. So who you got? Sean O'Malley or Adrian Yanez?
Well, that's the thing. We're going to get onto that. I mean, just quickly, like I said, Yanez. Tony Kelly's. It was a good opponent. It was, and he was giving him the finger afterwards. which was brilliant. Yanez is going to be a star. I just feel like he is. I mean, and especially like now with
Now,
the talks of Sean O'Malley. I mean, Sean, that
I got a question.
fight's going to be
Oh,
huge. It's going to be huge.
what did Tony Kelly say? They say Tony Kelly's racist? Did I miss something?
I think something, yeah. Something's obviously. There's obviously been something that's been said.
You know what he said, or
I can't. I haven't found it. I just seen obviously the bird that was shown to Tony Kelly, but all was from it was Yanez saying about Sean O'Malley. He just totally changed his direction to him. So maybe there was something. Maybe that's why he reacted like that.
yeah, I don't know. Apparently he's racist. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't. It's who isn't? I don't even care. I really don't care,
What?
man. I gotta. It's so weird. I gotta be honest with all our listeners, man. Black people who don't care about racism, not for real. They only care out in public because it's supposed to mean something to all of us. I don't care. There is no part of me in my life that ever gives one shit about whether or not you care about my skin tone. I don't. It actually, you want to be real? It hurts more when other black people, oh, you're dark skinned. That hurts more than what somebody else says. Cause it's like, why would you say that? So yeah, guess what, man? Nobody cares. I don't care what Tony Kelly said about anybody. I really don't. Do I need to care? I mean, like, Yanez cared and knocked him out. Good. He got what he deserved. So I don't know what he said, but he got what he deserved. And good. Hope he gets destroyed more. I don't care. Good. I don't know what racist people do or how they spend their time or what they deserve besides knockouts. So I'm just saying, man.
No, I mean, you bring out some good points because, like, listen, that's your opinion on how you feel when people are commenting on you or people that you know. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. I mean, we talked about this probably about a month ago or something, when I think there was something about Joe Rogan. It's how you deal with it. I'd probably go along with a lot of what you said of how to deal with things. Obviously, there are people out there that are offended by everything, and sometimes rightfully so. If things are said to them in a very derogatory way, you can't be upset. You can't be mad at people being upset over things that have been said to them. But I know what you're saying. You've been brought up in a different way where that stuff is normal and it shouldn't be. It doesn't affect you, really. Let's be honest. But we're going to move on quickly, Sean. But I do want yours because I know you've got a bit of a different opinion on Sean O'Malley. I know that you appreciate what he's doing in a similar way, maybe to a bit of Jake Paul, because I feel like there is an element of that in him, where he is trying to get people to not like him, and obviously that grows his audience. But just on the fight itself between Yanez and O'Malley, I mean, it's going to be full striking if it gets made. Thoughts on who wins and how it goes?
It'll get made, and O'Malley could win, man. Could. I just want to put that out there. Like, yeah, hate the guy, can't stand him. I'm a analyst. I've analyzed that he's a piece of shit. Okay, and I don't care what he thinks either. I don't know why he's trying to get people to hate him because it's not really bringing him any more money. Especially when you lose fights the way you do. He's brittle, so that's not good for him. But he can strike, man. Like I said, he's in that second tier. Hate him, love him, or hate him. That dude is in that second tier of strikers that can just knock you. I wouldn't fight him. You out of your mind. I wouldn't fight him. I mean, if I had to, I'm killing him. But that's different. Why would I doubt myself? Like you said with Josh Emmett. Of course, I think I won 4-1. Like, yeah, I don't think I'd starch him. Okay, but like that's just me being confident. But no, like being sane. Under no circumstances would I fight Sean O'Malley. None. Zero. I wouldn't fight him in Mortal Kombat. Real or fake. But Adrian Yanez is going to have to fight him. And Sean O'Malley has reach, man. That's a problem. He has a lot of reach. If Yanez could counter that reach, then that's an easy win for him. If not, goodbye. And then we got to talk about Sean O'Malley moving up. That's just how it is. I am not going to favor Yanez in this. I'm going to slightly favor O'Malley.
I think
simply because of his length, man.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would go along with what you said there about O'Malley being maybe the favourite. He is, if you look at it just a boxing standpoint, if O'Malley's smart, he would use his length and reach, and it could potentially be a night of a jab or something. But
that's a big if.
It is a big if, and obviously for me, if you're looking at just outside of the fight, the personalities of both, Yanez is really coming into his own now. O'Malley's always sort of been there with being outlandish and making people interested in him. So for me, obviously, it would be a main event in a fight night. Would it? The problem is with Yanez, yes, he's becoming a bit of a name, but he isn't a name yet. O'Malley's a name, but you couldn't put him on a. Could you put him on a co-main of a pay-per-view, potentially, depending on the opponent? I don't think Yanez. I don't think a Yanez one. I don't think Yanez would be.
Yanez, no. But I think you put that fight on a good fight night.
Main event. That could main event a fight night. I think.
Yeah, you main event a fight night with this, man. This was a good card. This didn't have bums on the card. This had established fighters on the card. I mean, you got Court McGee getting knocked out on the prelims. You see what I mean? That's not a bad card at all. I think we downplayed the cards, and that's good because that made the level of it. I mean, no matter what we did, this is still a great card because the knockouts are just these weren't garbage fighters getting knocked out and submitted. It wasn't like they weren't good enough. These were skilled individuals, skilled men, because the women didn't do shit. These were skilled men, highly skilled men, being taken advantage of by men who had proper timing and were more properly skilled at the moment. That's what MMA is about, man. So I'm glad we got to get this card. But how many times can they keep doing that? Because you can put on one other really good one. I would put on a really good card. I'd have O'Malley and Yanez. That's how you test them. That's how you test O'Malley. You say, I'm gonna let you headline. I'm gonna let you guys headline a fight night. If you really want to get eyes on it, put it on ESPN. Because this was the best ESPN card probably ever.
Damn.
Yeah, definitely best ESPN card ever. But yeah, you go ahead, you put it on ESPN again and let a nice boxing card come on afterwards, and you're golden, man. You would have to get guys like Cub Swanson and stuff like that to put on the card, but think about it like that. That's good. You put Cub Swanson on that card. You put a Frankie Edgar on that card. You put a Jose Aldo on that card, maybe. Who else? Not a McGregor, obviously, but you
Jose
got
Aldo.
names.
Yeah, Jose Aldo, just you mentioned. That's a good concept. I like that. Speaking of Jose Aldo,
that card, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is, and me and you, Sean, we like obviously right now we're sort of moving back to different places instead of just being at the Apex. It's nice to see the Austin crowd. I think the reason you see so many knockouts is part and parcel with that atmosphere. I mean, would there have been so many in Vegas? You don't know. I mean, obviously that doesn't play into the fighter's mind that they're trying to, do anything extra because they just want to win the fight anyway. But it does seem like it does, when every 3-4 weeks after a sort of stint at the Apex, once a crowd is put in there is a reaction from it and there is more knockouts, which is cool. I mean, we want to see more. But listen, UFC Austin was pretty cool. It was good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and watch the full thing afterwards here. But we kind of talked about the sort of standouts from that. Sean, before we get to Beterbiev and Joe Smith Jr., Just because you sort of brought up Aldo. I was just looking there, and there's been a lot of fights that have been announced. Obviously, there's a summer schedule coming up, but I've wrote down three fights here. I'm going to give mine first, and then you can give yours. I'll sort of just quickly talk about it. Not too long because we've got things to get onto, but
Right.
3 fights that have been announced, no particular order. Obviously, some of them are closer than others to becoming on fight night. TJ Dillashaw will be trying to take Aljamain Sterling's belt. I think that's in September. So you've got TJ versus Aljamain Sterling. You've got Jose Aldo versus Merab Dvalishvili and Marlon Vera, Dominic Cruz. Now, I'm going to do it first so you can get an idea, but basically just ranking your favourite, not the best, not the most high quality, your favourites, so you can get a feel for perhaps what you are looking for through these fighters. For me, just because it's 3 big fights, we've got a title fight in there as well, so there is sort of maybe more notoriety on that. But for me, honestly, from 1 to 3, I was just thinking about that there while you were talking. Marlon Vera and Dominic Cruz would be my number 1, and it's literally and it's Dominic Cruz at 30, whatever. Yeah, I think Cheeto could be a champion. I think he could, but you've got a title fight there, and you've got Jose Aldo and Merab Dvalishvili. That would be number 2 for me, and the title fight would be number 3. And I don't know. Maybe you'd have the other 2 the other way around, but
no, I got him in the same way. I ranked it the same way because I'm ready for Jose Aldo to get the hell up out of here. He's retiring. He's going to lose badly, and he's gone.
That's a tough fight. That's a tough. They're giving him a dog there.
He's done. Trust me, he's done. He's getting destroyed in that fight, man. So,
it's interesting though, Sean, because I think we sort of look for fighting because just listing those there, you're obviously thinking, okay, that's a title fight, that's a fight at bantamweight. I mean, both 2 fights at bantamweight, but it's like you're just going off who you like then, I suppose, because we've picked the same guys 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Just interesting because I just want to see your thoughts on the title for the.
I gotta go.
Are you good?
Yeah. No. I was talking about why.
All right, cool. Yeah, but it's just cool to see that. Oh, sorry, they're all 3 bantamweight fights, and the one that is for the title is my least favorite. I just thought it'd be something to bring up because it's a weird dynamic there. I mean, I'm not saying that TJ and Aljamain aren't entertaining. It's just that I feel Cheeto.
They're not though.
Well,
here's the thing. Aljamain Sterling's not going to be entertaining. You know exactly what he's going to do the last fight. He's going to be the backpack guy. I can't be mad at him for that because that's the way he wins. I mean, I can't be mad at him, and I am mad at him for it. But like, you got to use what you got to win, and this is the situation we're in. And if you don't like it, start him. You don't have to worry about him being on your back. TJ Dillashaw's not ready for this fight, man. He's not. I don't care how good he looked. He's not ready for this fight. He's going to get dominated. It's going to be over quickly. It's going to be so lopsided. It's disgusting. And I hate Aljamain Sterling. But that doesn't mean he's not. Yeah, I hate a lot of people. Okay? I do.
he likes
Fuck
me,
'em.
so
I can't stand half the roster probably, okay? Because these athletes just get disgusting, okay? They do. They get disgusting in the NFL. They get disgusting in the WWE and people and in pro wrestling. And people say, let's have a pro wrestling. What is it? Damn it. Union. They want a union in pro wrestling. You got people like Sasha Banks saying, kiss my ass. I'm not
Fighter
doing
union,
it.
yeah.
Then what do you do? What do you do? People, she's going to go to AEW. No, she's not. And if she does that, the second she says something and Britt Baker doesn't like her, it's over. But anyway, I digress from that. These fighters just get to the point where they just want to keep going what they got going. I get it. But that's how we get to today's world in politics, too. They just want to keep what they got going, So we get shitty laws, we get shitty this and shitty that because the people on top just want to keep doing what they're doing. Aljamain Sterling ain't gonna stand up with him, man. Dominic Cruz is the only dude that really. I don't want to say the only dude because Cody Garbrandt kind of rocked Dillashaw, but Dillashaw is nowhere near at the point he was when he left. One win don't mean shit. This guy's going to get smoked. He's going to have to in there against an elite guy, okay? Someone who is at least equal to Jan. And Jan would tear his head off. So, good luck with that. So, it's not going to be entertaining. It's going to be lopsided. If I'm wrong, great. I hate him. I hate Aljamain Sterling. So, good. So, any dummy, are you so wrong? Good. I hope so. I don't think so.
Well, TJ, it's an interesting fight. It's third, but it's you know what I mean. It's not like it's third and it's really down here for me. It's obviously it might not be a competitive fight because, like Sean said, TJ very very close decision with Corey Sandhagen, and I felt he did win, but it was one of those 3-2s could have went either way. MMA math doesn't add up, but watching what Sterling did to Sandhagen, first round submission. But Sterling, I think, has improved a lot over those two Jan fights because the improvements he had to make in order to beat Jan the second time, when he was nowhere near beating him in the first fight until the illegal knee. So, will TJ be able to improve to the level that Aljamain Sterling is now on? Remain to be seen. But I just thought it would be interesting, Sean, because I did think that you probably would have similar picks to me, and it ended up that way. But we'll finish recapping because obviously we want to get to this interesting WWE story that is sort of circulating. But before that, we'll just have a quick word on Artur Beterbiev because he did fight Joe Smith Jr. He now holds...
What a fight.
He now holds 3 belts, and he is one away from unifying the division, only to one Dmitry Bivol, which would be, I mean, now that Bivol's beat Canelo, Sean, that could be it's both Russian guys unifying the division. That's a huge fight. It really is. But
Man,
what did you think of Joe Smith Jr. first before you get that? Because I know you watched it. So what did you think of it?
I think he didn't know what he was getting into.
Joe Smith Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Beterbiev knew exactly what he was getting into and how he was going to do it, and he pictured it, and that went exactly the way he wanted to. Joe Smith Jr. caught an errant punch in the first round. I went, oh shit! I was like, it's like he didn't see it, And
yeah.
It's the ones you don't see that get you. And he could not have seen this punch, man. Because they were saying, oh, Joe Smith Jr. is fast. I was like, Beterbiev's way faster than him right now. Like, he was throwing way less at the moment because the fight had just started. Like, the fight only went 2.5 rounds.
Yeah.
So he wasn't throwing a bunch of strikes out there. It was, oh, he's fast. I was like, oh, my God, are y'all seeing this? He threw like 3 punches, and one of them just slipped clean in. It was the second one. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I don't think he saw that punch. Because I've been up against Golden Glove boxers. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be one myself. Because it's no bullshit, man. When they tell you, it was like, man, you're not going to see this punch. Trust
Definitely.
me. You don't see it, and that's the one that knocks you out. And here's the crazy part. They kind of, once you get hit with the knockout punch, they kind of slow you down. So you see the rest of them coming. You just can't do shit about it. But, Beterbiev he took his time through his combinations. And then when it was time to step on the gas, he floored it. He floored it a couple times in the first, finished really strong. And then the second, man, he hit him with something. He hit him with that same punch. It was a left something. I don't know. I saw a lot of fights that on Saturday, so it could have been anything, but I don't think I remember it correctly exactly what he hit him with, but he hit him clean. And he stumbled again.
It was on the top of the head, on the temple that knocked him down. He obviously got the double couple knockdowns in there as well to finish the fight. But
He
that
knocked him
hit on
down
the top
three
of the
times.
head, oof,
He had knocked him down 3 times in like 2 minutes.
it was
Crazy.
I
It
mean,
was nuts.
there's a reason why it's 18 fights, 18 knockouts. It's not hype. He's just done it
Yeah.
against one of the best guys in the division, the former champion.
And
Just took his belt. So come on, man.
he took it. You rarely see.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll throw this guy a bone. Tyron Woodley took the belt like that.
Oh, for sure.
He
Yeah.
took it. He took it. I mean, he took it way more in a way more dominant fashion.
I love that as well, Sean. Just sorry to cut you off, but you know what you're saying. I love that when a guy or a girl they come in and it's their first attempt at getting gold and they just leave nothing out. Like it's just, I am taking this off you. I'm better than you. And it's like a new sheriff in town. Like it's crazy when you watch it and it's so dominant. Like, and it's a one punch or it's a flurry. It's amazing to see.
The guy's 18-0 with 18 knockouts. I mean, what? Maybe I've heard about something like that before. But by today's standards, and then he has all the titles now, like almost all of them. No, I have not heard of anything like that in recent memory. Okay, like not in the modern era. That's not a thing. It not on that level. Now you said something about him and Bivol.
Yeah, so I mean, it's difficult though because you've got Canelo fighting Triple G in September, so there is people wanting the rematch with Canelo and Bivol, but if you look at Canelo's going to fight Triple G in September, so then it won't be till they're saying December. One thing you can say about Canelo, people are just like he's lost one fight now, and it's like, oh, he's not good anymore. It's hilarious. But one thing you can say about him, I don't think there's been a more active superstar, because there isn't many superstars in boxing. There's stars, but there aren't many superstars. He is the most active fighter. I think he might be just the most active fighter, period. Like, at the top level,
yes.
He wants to go from September, and he's verbally agreed to, if there could be a chance, to fight Dimitri Bivol in December. Like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like, he lost the fight to Bivol, but who cares? Like, it's just, the guy's just a savage.
They should be fighting more anyway, though. You should fight him next week. The fuck are you waiting for? Why is he waiting? He got to go grocery shopping next week or something? That takes a day. That's a couple hours. I don't care about your fight camps either. Here's the crazy thing about that. People, camps take this long in a couple months. Hey, asshole, you do this for a living. You're already in top tier shape above any human on the planet. You should take a month maximum for a fight camp. Maximum. Well, I walk around at, why the fuck do you walk around at a weight you don't fight at? Why do you do that? See what I mean? I'm sorry.
No, I know.
But that's about weight cutting, though. That's how it's weight cutting. Because why are you actually doing that? But that's dumb. That's goofy. So yeah, he should be fighting next week. He should be fighting the week after that. Here's the thing, man. If you were Canelo and you had all the marketability, but all the skill too, and all you want to do is fight, unless they're giving you unless they suspending your license like the UFC does, they give you that layoff, that medical suspension. There's nothing keeping you back, and UFC has been great about that, because they don't just hand them out like that. Like, if you didn't get touched in the fight, they like everybody from this last Saturday. Oh, they could just go. Everybody who won, you could just go right in there. Pretty much everybody who won only fought for like 2 minutes, didn't get touched, and they can fight the next week. Seriously. Because, and if you think about it, they just had a camp already. They were in shape. Let them fight the next week.
If they can be cleared medically, and I know you're talking about fighters that, if you're in like an absolute barn burner and your face is all Dan Egade, we're not going to ask you to fight next week. But you're talking about guys and there is a lot of that guys, not Hamza Chimaev, sorry, he's different. he's different. Islam Makhachev, sorry. I'll fight anyone.
Yeah.
Will you though? Because there was Rafael dos Anjos on a week's notice, and you didn't take the fight, and now you're looking at repercussions of not taking the fight, which the UFC does take into account, and you now have to definitely wait perhaps for a title shot because you didn't take that fight. And there is that element of fighters, I need 6 to 8 weeks, and you see how the UFC works. They like fighters, like you said, Sean, just there, I'll fight now. And it's like, what you're seeing is that they, Hamza, sorry, I keep saying Hamza, Islam Makhachev will look at that fight with RDA and think, that could be a ticket for me to get, a quick title shot, because if I win here, I'm going to be in the good books because I've done something for the company. But he just doesn't think like that, and some of them don't, and it's,
because they're not ready to fight, because in the UFC they're spoiled little bitches. He's a spoiled little bitch, just like Calvin Kattar. Oh man, I got this. Hey, congratulations on a good fight, Josh Emmett, but I probably got it 3-2. No, you lost, bum. You idiot. What a clown.
So yeah. I mean,
I don't want to go too far left.
No, but you're right about he left it to judges' scorecards, and now he pays the price. So
and same thing with Makhachev. He left it up to the people who decide the fights. They say, hey man, you want to fight this guy right now? No, I'm good. What do you mean? No, you're good. This is what you do for a living. We just offered you a job. You said no. So, like now that if it were like a business of assassins, and you're like, nah, I don't want to kill that guy. It's like, well, we need somebody who's going to kill all the people we say whenever we say to go kill somebody. And you don't want to go kill him? This guy's got to go die, though. It's like, well, okay, this dude's a bad guy. You need to go assassinate him immediately. There's a lot of money on the line, and you need to kill him. And you're a contract killer, and you're telling me no, you refuse to go kill him? Well, we're going to find someone who will get the job done, who will kill any and everybody we put in front of them, because these people need to die. There's no question about that. So yeah, when you put it in those terms, Makhachev's a dummy. Like we need people who are going to do this for the right reasons.
I like how I've warmed Sean up just before I gave him the Vincent Kennedy McMahon speech. But we're gonna wrap up on MMA today, Sean. Just gonna also preview this upcoming weekend's action, but just save you a bit of breath on the MMA and switch that. I want to channel that sort of thinking that you've got going on and put it right in for our viewers onto WWE, because this is big news. When I read this, that Vince McMahon is going to step down as CEO and acting chairman of WWE, to an ongoing case between him and representatives of WWE and employees, a scandal, a controversy, whatever it is. Sean's going to tell us because Sean will know. But Sean, you're telling me about it, and then I sort of went and watched a bit of SmackDown and seen him come out. Didn't really give anything away, didn't expect him to, but it was strange that he did come out. I mean, give me your thoughts. Obviously, talk about what's going on. Give the people listening understanding of what's really going on. You'll know more. But were you surprised that they sort of not made it into the story, but the fact that he did come out and make it public? He didn't say anything on it, but the fact that his face was in front of camera, in front of the people, were you surprised by that?
No. He doesn't hide. He was right in front of that steroid scandal. He was right. He faked his own death. The week before Chris Benoit stuff came out, and he had to come back.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't hide from controversy. He doesn't relish in it. Definitely doesn't do that. But he's not a bitch, like a lot of people are. They go and hide and tuck their tail. But I put it to you like this: if it were Ronda Rousey, you'd never hear from her again. Speaking of, Dana White didn't run from it when him and Ronda Rousey were rumored to be doing stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, it was just a rumor, but they were really
Travis Brown, Ronda Rousey, Brendan Schaub, all that stuff.
Yeah, but like she didn't date Dana White though. People just threw that out there.
Yeah. Oh, like with
Taylor,
every commentator, not comment, like a ring girl, like it's just easy, just throw that out there.
yeah, and it happens, but a real man doesn't run from that stuff.
No.
So here's the thing. The board is investigating Vince McMahon to see if he used any company money to as hush money. It was like $3 million paid out to this person. They named her and everything, so like, who cares? I tell you like this, people are like, oh man, sexual assault. I've seen it a couple times. Thankfully, the IWC isn't quite that stupid and didn't throw it out there too much because it's not an assault. It was definitely consensual. People saying it wasn't. I don't think you know what consent means. Like when you sign something, you agreeing straight up. She signed a paycheck, like he signed her paycheck. She signed those non-disclosure agreements and all that stuff. And she signed her contract to be hired and get paid higher salaries. You know what I'm saying? So, here's what I think happened. Kevin Dunn and John Laurinaitis wanted to get in on it too. When Vince McMahon and her were done, when they could no longer pursue it, this happened during COVID, so everything was kind of crazy. When they could no longer have the affair for whatever reason, I think Johnny Ace and Kevin Dunn was like, yo, what about me though? I can give you some money too and stuff like that. And they jumped in on it. Yep. And well, she agreed with it because, she got some more money and their names got brought up. So do I really care? No. Because like I said, it was consensual. It wasn't a rape or nothing going on. Some big dumbass is probably gonna there was just shut up, man. Shut up. You don't know how adults do things or how they have sex. Okay? That definitely wasn't rape. And you're a moron for thinking it.
The man's a billionaire, like, let's be honest. Like, it's not like listen, I don't know, the ins and outs. I don't think, anyone unless they're
the ins and outs.
No, but like I don't know everything. But let's be honest, Vince McMahon ain't short of, options. Let's just say that. Come on. He's a billionaire. He owns one of the best and most prestigious sporting companies in the world. And
one of the big, not three, but like the big four, if we're being honest. I mean, Trump put them up there when they had that committee and all that. It was Dana White and it was Vince McMahon and the commissioners.
Vince McMahon's like one of the, so it's like, it's not like he needs, but there's always that with higher power and payments. Like,
he's in great shape too.
Yeah, he is in good shape. I don't know if steroids are still going
to. Right. I mean, he doesn't look better than me like now, but he looks better than me.
He probably still looks better than us.
Like older. Yeah. I mean, he looks good, man. Probably
man.
Better than us, not better than us. He looks good. He can take his pick.
Them juices flowing through them veins.
Still a little gross. Still a little gross for a minute. I think the lady was like 45 or something. Like, that's not a spring chicken. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like an 18-year-old.
But Sean, let me say, this is the only one that's been reported on. Dan Bazilian, the sort of like, you think he was in the military, then he's like a pro gambler, like he just makes so much money, and he's probably in his late 40s, and he's just, his whole social media is just him with models every day, and he talks openly about being with them, and Vince McMahon will be doing that, just not showing it. And this woman who this come out with, and there's a story behind it, this is one of, and I'm not just being stereotypical, the fact that he's like this big owner, and he lives in he'll go do trips to Florida, and this has been quite stereotypical, but let's be honest, it happens. It's just not being reported on. Vince McMahon ain't short of that. Maybe this one's just because it's become public. There is, like you said, company money involved. What implications? Jimmy, sorry, continue.
No, just said what implications? What?
I think you were going Jimmy Butler, Rachel Nichols, but we talked about that before, and everyone knows.
Jimmy Butler was smashing, or stripping, I should say, Rachel Nichols in the bubble.
And he's giving her coffee as well. His pre-made coffee as well, so fair play.
Black coffee, probably right to the face.
He actually was making coffee though. Do you remember that? Like every day he was making coffee, he was selling it to people. I mean, that was hilarious in the bubble. Oh god.
But think about the bubble. That bubble, didn't this all happen at the same time? The bubble was the bubble, man. People was getting down in the bubble. And like that wasn't the only guy that's supposedly smashed Rachel Nichols, not just in the bubble, but period. Um, and I said supposedly, I don't know what you did. I don't even care. Whatever. Um, but
Sorry, yeah. So I was going to say, what implications or what do you think is going to come as a result of this? Is there going to be, obviously, there's going to be an investigation, whether it's hushed because obviously Vince. Do you feel like this might be the end of Vince being involved in WWE? He has to step away because it's a big deal, this story, but whether there's enough behind it for it to be, you know, enough so that yeah.
I think he's perfectly okay with this being the end.
Sure.
Well, here's the thing. When was he gonna step away? He told everybody publicly he'll never step away. He's being forced. Okay. I think health wise, yeah.
Right now, is he?
Yeah.
Is he,
I mean, not necessarily. Not like really twisting his arm, but they did appoint Stephanie McMahon in charge, an interim CEO. So
sure,
it makes sense to do that. Perfect sense to do that. You can rebrand your image and stuff like that. She's a lot softer than he is. That sounds weird given what the allegations and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice she's just not harsh like that. Sure, she has an on-air character and stuff like that, but I've never seen the slightest of implications that she is remotely like that. To be fair, I don't think Vince is anywhere near what he really portrays on screen either, because I think he's a weird dude.
Right.
But I don't think he's like this big meanie that just hates you. No. I just haven't seen or heard. I mean, stories from Bret Hart, Jerry the King Lawler, people like that. I haven't heard stories where he was just straight up mean and cut you down like an idiot. Now, I've heard there being etiquette and things being done where you were punished, but whatever. I'm sure someone else has stories, but don't care about those.
Sean, the one thing you can say about WWE, if you like it, if you don't like it, the stories surrounding the company and superstars, people involved in the business side of it, when you hear stories involved in like 30 for 30 documentaries, little programs that are made, like there isn't more entertaining and drama filled content out there in sport. Like UFC don't have that sort of angle. You think of I watched the Owen Hart doc. It was tragically the Chris Benoit one as well. I think it was on a YouTube page, but it was part of an American network, and they were basically
Vice. You're talking about Vice?
I think it was Vice, yeah.
Yeah, the behind the dark side of the ring.
That's it. Just that as an example, but obviously that's not you don't want to sit there and go, oh, this is great, because obviously what the stories behind that not great. But what I mean is because of the stories in WWE and WWF and back WCW, just like you don't get it better, and it's okay. It's controversy filled, this one, but I mean the documentary on Vince McMahon's life is going to be pretty cool. I mean the ending might not be great, but I mean it's going to be the man's lived a life, can we say?
Yeah.
I
hope somebody else could do. I hope he gives he won't. He's got a lot of enemies, and for no real reason.
Final thoughts on Vince, this scandal ongoing. Where do you think it'll go? Do you think we should just sort of move on, or is it something we should keep an eye on?
I think we should move on. I think there'll be 1 to 4 more that'll come out.
You think, more people, more women that we've seen before, and valid or not valid, this happens with women accusing a man of sexual abuse. Some obviously, if it's warranted, it's completely justified. But there is the cases where they have been led on, and
I think so. I mean, look at Deshaun Watson right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's
it's
crazy.
not that. I want to say it's that, but it's nowhere near that.
No, that's just
Like
different
this is
level. He deserves,
right,
yeah,
right.
whatever's coming to him.
I don't know what he deserved. I don't know what these people thought. How can you
Well,
abuse me? You butt naked on the table. Hey man, I want you to do this. No, I'm walking out. Look, one lady said she caught one to the face, and it was like, how'd you catch one to the face? Walk the fuck out of there. How did you catch one to the face and you're the one standing up? When did you decide to yield your power and say, you know what, I'm going to lay down, or I'm going to sit down and you be the one to stand up? Fuck you. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Why would you have, whatever, man.
yeah,
Okay, see, I
whatever.
went too far. I'm sorry. You're going to have to edit something.
I've got you.
But anyway, my point is like,
yeah,
it's on the Deshaun Watson, not the level of it, but like it's going to be brought up in the same breath probably, even though it's a completely different thing. So it's best that Vince stay away, which is why they put Stephanie in there. But like, I don't see Vince coming back.
right.
I see him. Here's the thing. He's just not at board meetings. He's still at Gorilla. Well, I don't know if he's at Gorilla, but he still has all legal rights to be at Gorilla and book WWE. He's still 51% owner. So absolutely nothing has changed from a business point of view in terms of WWE.
Sure.
It's just in terms of the board meetings. Like, he can't make
But will the
a boardroom decision.
will the company get a bit of backlash off this in terms of their reputation? Will it be will that be felt?
Because
No.
Vince McMahon, you know what the greatest part about this is? WWF and Vince McMahon. Those are completely separate entities. WWF had the steroid thing. WWF had Chris Benoit kill himself and his family. WWF had the Vince McMahon of old that was womanizing people anyway. And that Vince McMahon might be in WWE, but that's the Vince McMahon of the WWF.
Yeah, it's a different Vince McMahon now, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep, you could just link it like that and it's over.
Cool.
You know, Stephanie hadn't done anything like that, nor has Triple H. So when you bring up their names, you don't have the same they're not polarizing figures like that.
No.
I mean, yes, Triple H hit somebody in the head with a sledgehammer, but that was all.
Triple H is a legend, and everyone, like in young kids' eyes who watch WWE, there's nothing that you can look at Triple H and pin him to controversy. Same with Stephanie. There is that pathway now when if Vince does leave, if this is the end, where obviously the plans have been in place for so long with the generations of ownership coming in, Stephanie and Triple H.
I think this is perfect because how is he ever going to yield? Here's the thing. He's a genius. He is. Whoever thinks so, you're a dummy. So that doesn't think so, you're a dummy.
Literal genius. Yeah.
No, but he hired Nick Khan, got to the point where he needs to be.
Yeah.
Not one of them, and this is my final thought on it. Stephanie, Triple H, and Nick Khan equal Vince McMahon. And that's what you have now. I know Triple H said he retired and he stepped back. Here's the thing, though. Him coming back would be sharing the workload with his wife. So he wouldn't just have Vince's job and then Stephanie's doing something completely different. No, these would be the three different aspects of Vince McMahon: the businessman, the spokesman, and the booker. That's what they would be. They would be three aspects of him working in tandem to equal Vince McMahon. But to be honest, greater than him because they will be one being focused on that thing. Triple H is a million times better as a booker than he is. Stephanie McMahon, a much better spokesperson than he ever could be. And that's not a knock on him. It's just he is who he is. And like I say, he came from an old era like WWF. And Nick Khan, a million times the businessman he's ever been. Again, not a knock. This has stayed in pro wrestling and made it $1 billion industry and company. Nick Khan has been, not focused on that and been doing it all over. So that's where this is going to lead. So hopefully we get all that greatness coming.
Can't really add anything more to that because Sean is our wrestling correspondent, shall we say. But Listen, you got Bellator, you got UFC this weekend. That's another show from us. Gegard Mousasi, Johnny Elbin. Main event, middleweight championship on the line. Another young upcomer, undefeated for Gegard Mousasi to most likely defeat. You never know. But in the run that Gegard is in, it's hard to see past that. UFC, you've got Arman and Matus Gamrot, Arman Taksurian. Main event, different, lightweights, 9 and 10 ranked. Not normally seeing guys like that in main events, which is different. The card is pretty strong though. It's a back-to-back week of fight nights that have got good matchups on them. You've got Thiago Moises in action, Neil Magny, Shavkat Ramonov is wow. I mean, that should be incredible, to be honest. I'm looking forward to watching that one. You got Umar Nurmagomedov, Chris Curtis against Rodolfo Vieira. Rodolfo's still going strong. Carlos Ulberg on the card. Julian Paiva, Cody Durden returns. Just a good card, Sean. And like you said, like I said, it's good that you've got, okay, they're ESPN fight nights, but if they're good fight nights on paper and they do deliver, you can't complain, can you?
No, you can't. The only thing I would say is that there's not that, you don't have that older name that, like, whenever I talk to people about UFC, they always recognize a Cub Swanson or Tim Means or somebody like that.
Diego Sanchez, Clay Guida's on the cards, like guys that are old guys, fun fights,
Right. So you don't have that on the card, and that's a drawback. But that's the only drawback I could really see about it, is that you don't have that old guy that's like, oh, I want to see this old guy fight again. Like back in my day, you don't have that guy on here.
No, you don't have that guy. So yeah, that's.
I mean, Neil Magny, but like, Neil Magny's not. He's not a.
I mean, he's not mid-30s and he's been in a lot of fights, but he's not really like one of those guys that you'd look at as an OG, as a vintage.
Right,
fighter.
And he doesn't really light it up all the time. Like, it's hard to say that.
Yeah.
He's in a perfect spot, but like, you need someone other than a Neil Magny, a Cowboy Lozon right here. That would make the card.
They can't get that fight to go. This is cursed.
Yeah, they're never doing it again now.
No one wants that fight anyway, so it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. People are like, oh, this fight's cursed. It's like, I don't think anyone cares, because let's be honest. I mean, yeah, Austin, Cowboy, I understand, but let's be honest. You can take it or leave it with that fight. Let's be real.
Yeah.
That's another episode in the books from myself and Sean. You didn't see Sean today, but you did hear him, and he was in fine form as usual. Able to get through some illness, but I'm sure he'll be back on Sunday. We'll be doing another bit of WWE sort of look at. John Cena returns the next night on Monday to celebrate 20 years in WWE. Probably talking a bit more about Vince McMahon. Looking ahead to the summer of big matchups, I think Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the 4,000th time at SummerSlam. But then Sean will be giving his opinions on that. We'll still watch it. We'll complain, but we'll still watch it. Listen, a lot of combat sports action. Enjoy the weekend when it comes. Have a good week right now. Stay safe and have a bit of fun, everyone. Life's too short. Take care.